In just over a month, we will experience one of the most technically complex events in the history of cryptocurrency, and that is the upcoming merge of Ethereum from a proof of work to a proof of stake blockchain. Since something like this is so radical and revolutionary, it's possible that you might not know what it means or how it applies to you. If you want to learn more about the Ethereum merge from proof of work to proof of stake, then this video is just for you. Hey everyone, and welcome back. This is the Part-Time Economist, and in today's video, we are talking all about the upcoming merge of Ethereum from proof of work to proof of stake. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not a video telling you to invest or not to invest in Ethereum. I'm not even going to mention the price because this isn't an investing video. This is a technical video about a really revolutionary process where a blockchain is going from one consensus model to another. Now, of course, we will talk about the technical aspects, but also what it means for you. So, with that being said, we need to understand the basics of what's even going on here. What does this all mean? And to do that, we need to go back to Cryptocurrency 101. Every single cryptocurrency, regardless of what it is or when it was invented, needs to have consensus. And consensus basically means that the blockchain needs to agree what transactions are valid and what transactions are not. Everyone needs to be on the same page. And different cryptocurrencies implement this consensus procedure in various ways. The first procedure, and what the vast majority of the early cryptocurrencies used, was something known as proof of work. With proof of work, basically, you had a computer, and in order to determine what transactions were valid, you would solve a very complex mathematical puzzle. If you were the first computer to solve this puzzle, you would be basically awarded the right to validate that block, and you would get a reward. Now, this was pretty cool when it first started because you were able to validate the network, secure transactions on an average everyday computer. And on top of that, you could earn some cryptocurrency. So you were earning cryptocurrency, and because so many people could participate in this validation, the network was very decentralized. Now, as time went on, people realized that to solve the mathematical puzzle, they could have a higher chance of solving it if they had more computing power. So they started investing in more and more powerful computers, which gave them a higher chance of succeeding, but also pushed little guys out of the marketplace. On top of that, the massive amount of computing hardware that they had needed a lot of energy. So two things, both of which were bad for cryptocurrency. Number one, it became more centralized, right? And then on top of that, the massive energy consumption started to draw the eye of politicians who wondered if this is something that we should really even be allowing. So an alternative to this is proof of stake. And again, keep in mind, the same idea of validating transactions and securing the network applies to both proof of work and proof of stake. The idea is the same, just the way in which we do it is different. Proof of stake, on the other hand, doesn't need fancy computer hardware. Rather, you are essentially saying, I have a stake in this project. I've invested so much money, therefore I want to only validate honest transactions, and behaving dishonestly would really hurt me, so you should give me the ability to validate these transactions. And it gets a little bit more into it than that, but basically the more you invest in a network, you are given a higher chance of validating these upcoming blocks. So we don't need computer hardware. We're basically just vouching for ourselves and saying we are trustworthy. Now, if we don't validate correct transactions, there are penalties, there are ways to hold us accountable. So, getting back to this upcoming merge, now that we understand that the vast majority of early cryptocurrencies use this very computationally intensive proof of work model, we understand that Ethereum is wanting to get away from that. They want to transition to proof of stake. So how do they do this? Well, this has been something that is a very, very long time coming. years and years. But basically, it starts with the beacon chain. And we have, imagine, two separate versions of Ethereum running side by side. We've got the proof of work version that's been going basically forever. It's just going along, doing its thing. Now, we also have a second chain that was launched, the beacon chain. And since its inception, it is being validated on proof of work. So we've got Ethereum proof of work. It's been on proof of stake. So we've got proof of work, we've got proof of stake, and at some point these chains need to come together. That's what's known as the merge. And this is what's supposed to happen on September 15th of 2022. Proof of work will go away. Ethereum will become a proof of stake only blockchain. Sounds simple enough, but in reality, it's not so simple as just flipping a switch. There's a lot of implications that are going to come out of this. And again, like I said here, I'm not doing Ethereum price prediction or anything like that because we don't know. But on top of that, this merge, if other blockchains follow in the future, we could imagine that there might be a similar process. So the first thing is, what does this mean for the miners? Well, if you are a cryptocurrency miner, you now have all of this hardware that you don't really have anything to do with it, right? What are you going to do? Are you going to sell your mining equipment? Are you going to mine on another chain? That's the question that they are asking themselves right now. But what does this mean for you as just an average person who may or may not have Ethereum? Well, number one, energy usage will decrease by up to 99.95%. Now, this is absolutely huge. And again, this isn't something that Ethereum came up with. Proof of stake in general just uses less electricity than proof of work. So again, this isn't Ethereum specific. If any other blockchain did it, you could expect somewhat similar results there. Now, this is good for a couple reasons. Number one, we've got the environmental concerns, right? For better or for worse, a lot of proof of work cryptocurrencies do use massive amounts of energy. Now, there's some mitigating factors. A lot of people say, well, it's clean energy. Regardless, right now the entire world is going through an energy shortage. So it's not exactly a good look for a lot of cryptocurrencies to basically be just burning up all of this energy. So I would imagine, as politicians do try to crack down on wasteful spending of energy, you may see other cryptocurrency projects try to do something similar in the future. So first off, massively decreased energy usage. But on top of that, you will no longer need lots of heavy-duty hardware to participate in the Ethereum network. Anyone that is able to stake 32 Ethereum is able to gain rewards, possibly from staking and validating these transactions. Now, I will admit, even at the currently low cryptocurrency market prices, 32 Ethereum can be somewhat expensive. Average people with perhaps less than that might be able to stake through some third-party service that basically kind of bundles people's money together and stakes it on their behalf. Again, not telling you to do that, but just saying it's going to be an option that you wouldn't have had under proof of work. Again, this is not an Ethereum thing. This is proof of stake in general. That's the whole way that the network is secured, is through people staking and earning a little bit of a reward. But what specifically happens to you as someone that may currently be holding Ethereum in your wallet? When will you get your Ethereum 2.0? And this is something that really needs to be said, because a lot of people that may be used to working with stocks, right? You have a stock split, you have a dividend, you've got your brokerage account, there's a stock dividend, and then a week or two later, you get these new stocks in your account. And people are thinking, well, when will I get my Ethereum 2.0? What happens to my old Ethereum? In reality, your Ethereum is just your Ethereum. For you, someone just looking at it, it basically works the same. You're going to see the same amount of Ethereum in your wallet as before and after. Now, a lot of people have been talking about decreasing Ethereum gas fees, speeding up transactions. The short answer to this is not yet. The merge is only one part. And again, I don't want to talk too much Ethereum specific here, but I think it's important to understand this. The merge is just one part of the broader Ethereum 2.0 kind of rollout, right? So at some point, they're going to introduce sharding. They're going to introduce a different kind of, all these different things, right? In the long run, yes, they're trying to bring down transaction fees. They're trying to speed up transactions per second. But in and of itself, this particular event, this particular point is not increasing block size. It's not really directly addressing these, right? The key thing here is we're going from proof of work to proof of stake. When will you be able to withdraw your staked ETH? Again, that's not coming into play just yet. It's expected a little bit later on down the road. Again, main thing here, everyday users, and again, this is a BitPay article, so they're going to, of course, they're going to mention their own stuff in there. Everyday users will not be impacted, right? That's the key takeaway here. As an everyday user, you're not going to be impacted. Behind the scenes, we're moving from one model of consensus to another. We're decreasing that energy usage. We are opening up, right, the possibility to earn through those staking rewards as opposed to having to go out and buy thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment. But again, that's for later on down the road. I don't even want to get into the staking too much because, then you might think I'm trying to encourage you to do it. So just the key takeaway for right now. Unprecedented, right? Moving from proof of work to proof of stake isn't as simple as just flipping a switch because you've got tons of people who have invested loads of money in this mining equipment, and even the network itself. It is used to validating itself based on this mining, and you're flipping the entire network to a different method of consensus. So absolutely massive changes there, but it also kind of makes sense, right? We're seeing a lot of pushback against proof of work, so some cryptocurrencies in the future might move to proof of stake, at least for you. As an average person, there's not going to be a whole lot of changes. Yes, you might be able to stake in the future, but you don't have to worry about, your Ethereum 2.0, anything like that. For the average everyday person, it's going to function mostly the same, at least for now. More developments coming in the future, but we will talk about those when the time comes. So I'd really like to thank you for sticking around watching the video. I really do hope you found it useful, and I will see you in the next one.